The Tigers left town winning 3 of 4 from the Indians, but now it's time to turn the page to the Blue Jays and finish up this homestand on a high. Toronto was the hottest team in baseball 2 weeks ago, but they've cooled off a bit, and they sit at the bottom of a loaded AL East. Ubaldo Jimenez gets the call in Game 1 of this 3-game set next on Sports Time Ohio. We begin tonight's ball game in a rain delay. Rain falling here at Progressive Field. We haven't seen enough of that already this year. Nice clap of thunder and a little lightning as well. So we're not going to start on time here tonight. Hopefully this system will move through the area rather quickly, and we will be able to get to this game. Indians and Blue Jays, last and only time in for Toronto this year here in Cleveland. And it's interesting when you look at both the Indians and the Blue Jays, both very streaky this year. I mean, the Tribe, they had won 10 out of 15, briefly held on to first place in the American League Central Division. Now they've lost 5 out of 6. They've dropped to 3.5 games off the pace in the Central. Toronto, they won 11 straight. Now they've lost 9 out of 14. They just got themselves into such a hole early in the year. They've had a tough time climbing out of it.
Yeah, they brought themselves back into play, winning 11 in a row, and they went a couple of times through the rotation. They really did it with their pitching. Their starting pitchers were very good to a 278 earned run average. The bullpen gave up very few hits. You can see a .63 earned run average. Now, in the last 2 weeks, it's been totally different. The ERA of the starters has doubled. They're 5-9. They're not hitting like they once did. They're an all-or-nothing ball club. They hit a lot of home runs, but they still need good starting pitching to turn it over to that bullpen. A lot what the Indians need. Yeah. They need good starting pitching.
In some regards, they are very similar teams with the way they've been streaky and the fact that it all seems to hinge on their starting pitching. Let's take a look at tonight's starting pitching matchup when we get to the ball game here tonight. You've got Ubaldo Jimenez going for the Indians. Josh Johnson, he came over, big offseason acquisition, big gun down with the Marlins, but he has really scuffled. He's a 5-inning pitcher so far this year for Toronto.
Well, when you look at him, he spent some time on the disabled list. He missed about a month with some arm issues, and he has beaten the Indians one time that he has pitched against them. But you're looking at another 5-inning pitcher with Ubaldo Jimenez. Yep. That's all he has been. He's thrown 100 pitches. He's been a 5-inning pitcher coming off a start in Kansas City where you thought he had it in the bag. He did not, and he had to go to the bullpen. But we'll see. He pitched a good game against the Blue Jays earlier this year in his first start.
Well, I think they made the right call pulling the chart because it is really coming down right now here at Progressive Field. So we are in a rain delay to start. Hopefully, we'll be back with baseball in the very near future. But for now, the Tribe Report will keep you entertained. Rick and I will be back with updates just as soon as they become available. But right now, no baseball at the moment here at Progressive Field. Blue Jays, Indians, hopefully in a very short time. But for now, here's the Tribe Report. Ready for baseball as the Indians take the field. It's a very wet field. It was waterlogged last night because it rained the entire game. And with an update on the field conditions, here is Katie Witham.
Well, Matt, that was the biggest concern coming into today's game and a big portion of why they covered the field so early. That field had a hard time drying out with playing through all the rain yesterday. The grounds crew told me they went through 30 bags of turfus and 6 bags of diamond dust, just trying to upkeep everything that was going on last night. Now, we saw the infield really take a beating yesterday. You could see it just within the base pass and how the guys were struggling running. Now, they have gotten a lot of work in on it today. They did not allow either team to take batting practice or do fielding because they wanted it to dry out. But that's definitely something we'll have to keep an eye on today, Matt.
All right, thanks, Katie. Field actually looks, the eye test, it looks like it's in really good shape considering what took place here last night. Let's take a look now at the Toronto Blue Jays starting lineup for John Gibbons. Jose Reyes in the leadoff spot, followed by Jose Bautista. Edwin Encarnacion batting third with 23 homers, 68 runs batted in on the year. Adam Lynn bats cleanup. Colby Rasmus fifth. Myceres Torres sixth. Then Rajay Davis seventh. J.P. Arancibia eighth. And Emilio Bonifacio will bat ninth.
Ubaldo Jimenez on the mound, making start number 18 for him. He is 6-4 with a .467 earned run average. He has pitched 88 and 2/3 innings. He has walked 49, struck out 88, and given up the 81 hits. So for Ubaldo, at home, he is 2-3, and his ERA is up there, 6.82. Let's check out the defense. The Kia Indians defense behind him this evening. It'll be Brantley in left, Bourne in center, Stubbs is in right. Chisenhall at third, Cabrera at short, Kipnis is at second, Reynolds at first with Santana behind the plate.
Brian Gorman, the crew chief, calling the balls and strikes. Manny Gonzalez at first, Tony Randazzo at second, and Larry Vanover down at third. Ready to go as Jose Reyes steps in, and a fastball in there for a called strike. Reyes slaps it back out of play. Reyes playing in just his 13th game since coming back from the disabled list. He was injured not all that long after the Indians played Toronto in the first series of the season. It was an awkward sliding play at second base when he just got his ankle caught underneath him.
Yeah, nasty looking.
It sure didn't look good. In fact, there was some initial thought that, maybe he would be done for the year because it just looked pretty gruesome. But he's back in there and obviously an important guy in this Toronto lineup. Rain delay of 36 minutes at the start here tonight. Reyes rolls it to Kipnis. One down. Here's a video of the injury to Reyes that happened earlier this year. He was in Kansas City.
It was like a late slide.
Yeah.
He should have slid earlier. It was in between. Then he tried to do it late, and he just rolled over on that back ankle.
It almost looked like, Rick, like a guy caught in between, like he didn't know what he wanted to do. If he wanted to slide or just run in standing, and a late slide did a lot of damage to that left ankle. But good to see him back in there. Jose Bautista looks at a ball outside. It's 2-0. Last 10 games, Bautista pretty hot, batting .417. Firestone Complete Auto Care Extra Mile Index. Bautista 4 consecutive seasons, 20 or more homers by the All-Star break. This one high in the air to right field. Drew Stubbs. 2 down. Right now, we'll take a look at our keys to the game tonight. Try to get the early lead. And can Ubaldo Jimenez get deep into the game? Or at least deeper. He has struggled to go beyond 5 innings. He has not pitched 6 innings in a start since June 1st when he went 8 innings against Tampa. Since then, his best effort was a 5 2/3 innings outing at home against Kansas City. Last time out in Kansas City, it looked like he was going to pitch deep into that game. But he ran into trouble in the 6th. Over the head of Michael Bourne in deep center field, and Edwin Encarnacion on his way to second base with a 2-out double. Hit it to straightaway center, and even though Bourne has good speed, he couldn't get back in time to make the catch.
Well, straight over his head, and usually Ubaldo's been very tough against Encarnacion. 2 hits and 11 at bats, but he puts this one middle part of the plate, and he drilled it over the head of Bourne. I mean, a line drive. It'll go as a double, number 16 for Encarnacion.
Adam Lynn, Blue Jays first baseman with a runner in scoring position and 2 down, takes a slider for strike 1. You don't think of Lynn in the same vein that you think of Encarnacion and Batista when it comes to home runs, yet he's 9th on the Blue Jays all-time home run list with 128. Closing in on Ernie Witt for 8th place. Ripped just foul over the bag, and
wow, look at that call by Gonzalez.
Wait, was that emphatic?
Yeah, he threw it aside and said it's foul. With authority. Watch this, right down the line, didn't miss by much. Go up, Manny, and throw it foul. Good job.
Like he was throwing somebody out of a game.
That was a good job.
Up and away, 2-2. Inside a full count. This is the guy who really has been their steady Eddie in the middle of the lineup. A .309 average, 11 homers, 34 driven in, 16 doubles. Three-two pitch in the air center field. Routine this time for Bourne. He's under it. And the side is retired. No runs a hit. A man left aboard. The Indians are coming to bat. No score, bottom of the first inning. The Indians starting lineup brought to you by Progressive, making it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. Michael Bourne in the leadoff spot, followed by Asdrubal Cabrera. Jason Kipnis will bat third, then Nick Swisher in the cleanup spot. Michael Brantley coming off a solid series against Detroit, hitting 5th, then Carlos Santana 6th. Mark Reynolds, Lonnie Chisenhall, and Drew Stubbs rounded out.
Josh Johnson on the mound for the Blue Jays. Johnson making his 11th start. He is 1-3. He didn't pitch from April 21st until June 9th. He had right tricep inflammation, but he's 6'7", 250 pounds. He can get it up there with a good slider.
Ground ball right at the second baseman. Bonifacio takes care of Bourne, 1 away.
Let's take a look at that Blue Jays defense tonight. It is Davis in left, Rasmus in center, Bautista in right. Esteuris at third, Reyes at short, Bonifacio at second, Lind is at first with Aaron Sebia behind the plate.
Ball 1 to his dribble, Cabrera. Fastball over the outside corner. Tried to bunt, and it's back out of play. A little bit high, 2-2. Josh Johnson, his first real exposure in the big leagues back in 06 with the Marlins. He was 12-7 that year. 24 starts, he had an ERA of just over 3. Down in the dirt. But like so many young pitchers, he underwent a lot of injury problems. Eventually Tommy John surgery. But he came back in 09 with a 15-5 record and a 3.23 ERA. Struck him out, threw it right by him. 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Our stat of the game brought to you by your Northern Ohio Buick dealers. I mentioned this to you earlier. Look at 38-24 if you take away what they've done against the AL East, and that's with the struggles against Detroit.
Yeah, well, you're right. The only team they have beaten is Toronto, and that's the first 3 games of the year. They won 2 out of 3. But it has been a tough go in the Eastern Division. Toronto this year against the Central, they're 10-12, 18-24 on the road.
Bounced that in front of the plate, and it nailed Aaron Sebia. One ball, one strike. This Toronto ball club, a lot of expectations for John Gibbons' team coming into the year. Yeah, we were in Toronto to start, so we saw firsthand. I mean, it was, hey, World Series, here we come in Toronto.
Or bust.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know what? It always happens when a team goes out. They made a lot of trades. They upped their salary. They spent a lot of money, and a lot of the people that are writing with the publications that are, they broadcast, they just picked him. They felt it was a great pick. But it doesn't mean chemistry. They haven't played together.
Well, you could obviously understand the excitement and the anticipation with the additions they made. They upgraded their starting pitching, which they needed to do.
Right.
And they added some flash with Jose Reyes.
But he missed some time. He missed a lot of time, which certainly hurt him.
Boy, Josh Johnson's sharp here at the outset tonight. Strikes out a pair, no score after 1. No score, second inning. Colby Rasmus, Maicer Torres, and Rajai Davis due up for Toronto. Rasmus was going to bunt, and he bunted it foul. Drills that one to fairly deep right field. Drew Stubbs back to grab it. One away. Today's injury report brought to you by Elk & Elk. Serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. The current injury report for the Blue Jays, Brett Lawrie on the DL with an ankle problem. Melky Cabrera down with a left knee issue. And Brandon Morrow, talented pitcher, also out. So they've had to deal with their share of injuries as well. Maicer Torres shoots one toward left. And Michael Brantley lost it. He lost it in the lights, I believe.
Yeah, he ran
and
it right
all the
into
way
it.
to the fence goes Michael Bourne to grab it, and it's Torres into second base.
That's exactly what he did. It's almost like he ran it into one of those light towers and it got caught right in the middle. You never see Michael do that, but this was one of those plays, an in-between ball. It wasn't hit. It wasn't a hard line drive. It's what we call like a little humpback liner, and it started to come down, and it was right in the lights. And he had a beat on it, and right at the last minute, he had to turn away.
Just never saw it.
Nope, that'll go as a double.
And Rajai Davis to the plate, taking a strike. Did he chase after it? The appeal? No, says first base ump Manny Gonzalez. Davis with a hit in 28 of his last 33 starts. Last week had his 6-game hitting streak snapped. And now the count 2-1. He's had a couple of good ball games against Central Division opponents. A season-high 3-hit game June 11th against the White Sox. And just 2 days ago against Minnesota, a season-high 3 runs batted in against the Twins. The 2-2 is down in the dirt and a full count. For the Blue Jays on the year, a 20-point difference with runners in scoring position, home versus road. They're a 282 team at home with runners in scoring position, but that drops to 262 on the road.
You get that little comfort zone at home, I guess. The friendly surroundings. They hit on turf.
Hit to third. Chisnall will look the runner back. Guns it over. 2 down.
Well, swing for the fences with the new Home Run Derby mobile game from MLB.com. It's available on iPhone and iPad. You can download free today.
A 36-minute rain delay at the start here tonight. Notice that Pittsburgh is in a rain delay at home against Oakland.
There was a few games last night when we were playing through the rain. There was the Yankees in Kansas City that were delayed. Another ball game was delayed, so it's all over the place. Hot and humid today, boy.
Was that the Cubs and the White Sox, I think, were also in a rain delay last night?
Yeah, that's right.
1-0 pitch. Hit hard but foul. J.P. Arancibia, the Blue Jays catcher. Ooh, that looked awfully good. It's called a ball, 2-1.
Let's take a look at this fastball away on our Nissan pitch tracker. From that angle, looks like a pretty good pitch.
Outside now, it's 3-1. Aaron Sebia hitting .219 coming into action tonight. 2 years ago, in 129 games, he hit .219 for Toronto. Swing and a miss, a full count. So far,
Nice.
his career major league average is just .222. Guy with terrific talent, but offensively hasn't really been able to. I mean, he's got good power with 15 home runs. The 3-2 pitch. And he walks him. And the inning continues now for Emilio Bonifacio. Bonifacio is switch hitter. But his season average just .209. Upstairs, ball one. Two on, two out. And he misses again.
This is normally the part of the lineup that you see, which you shouldn't with Ubaldo, where he really, his pitch count goes up. You know, the walk to the number 8 hitter. And I know first base was open, but Aaron Sebia is a guy, if you make your pitch, you can get him out. You make a mistake, and he can hurt you. But then you get to the guys, when you start elevating your pitch count, that's why he turns into a 5-inning, 100-pitch guy.
There has to be at least a couple of hitters in every lineup that you are going to just say, here it is, attack,
Well,
attack.
yes, put it in play. You throw a quality strike, and if you put it down in a way and you make a decent pitch, they should hit it at one of your defenders.
Swing and a miss, 2 balls and a strike. Misses again, too high. 3 balls and a strike. Jose Reyes would be next. Blue Jays have lost 5 of their last 7 on the road, and this is the start of a 6-game road trip that will take them to the All-Star break. 3 here in Cleveland, then they go to Baltimore for 3. Fouled back in a full count.
Well, the first time through the lineup, and it's his 4th full count.
The runners go, the payoff pitch. Popped him up, foul, back and out of play. Is Torres retreating as Aaron Sebia heads back to first. Again, the runners will be off. The 3-2. Another foul by Bonifacio.
Well, there's the breakdown so far. 22 strikes out of his first 40 pitches.
The 3-2. Again, the runners are off, and a swing and a miss. He strikes him out. First K of the night for Jimenez. Blue Jays strand a pair. No score, middle of the second. Brought to you by McDonald's, now introducing 3 exciting new Quarter Pounders. And by Kia. No score, bottom of the second. Nick Swisher, Michael Brantley, Carlos Santana for the Indians. Up high, ball 1. Fastball, top of the zone.
We'll see if they try and make him get that fastball down. He has enough on it. He can get it by you upstairs, but if he can throw it above the belt. He struck Kipnis out on that pitch. Cabrera. That's the one where, as a hitter, you want to make him bring it down.
And Swisher is called out on strikes. That's the 3rd strikeout in a row for Johnson, and he doesn't like the call. Well, Michael Brantley coming up now for the Tribe. He had a good series against Detroit, and he had some thoughts on how the Indians will put that disappointment of losing to Detroit behind them. Katie Witham.
Well, Matt, Michael Brantley told me today, if what you did yesterday means something to you today, then you haven't done much today. He said that the way that the Detroit series played out makes this team just want to get these next 6 games that much more. And for him, with the All-Star break, giving them 4 days off coming up here soon, he's going out with the mindset that he's going to leave it all on the field and play as hard as he can for these next 6.
Good way to approach it.
Absolutely. You have to move on. That's the one thing about baseball. There's always a game tomorrow. So you come into this one, you're looking at this, win this first game, win this series, and move on to the next one. One thing about baseball, there's no time to sit back and dwell on anything.
And there's no time to sit back and pound your chest and say, oh, we got it now.
Well, win or lose, you're right. You keep moving.
As I said to you earlier, I mean, had the Indians won that series against Detroit, it still didn't mean anything.
No, it would have been nice if you could at least split it. You know, if you win it, it's good. It just gives you a better feeling, a better taste in your mouth.
Well, Jim Leland said afterwards, this is just beginning. He said on the record he feels like the Indians are not going away. And that's kind of what I was just getting at. I mean, they're in the position of they won the series. They held serve and open up a little bit of a lead in the division, but they've got to be thinking about there's still a lot of baseball left.
Well, it's been a tough matchup for the Indians this year against the Tigers. It's been one of those matchups. It's been a tough matchup this year for the Indians against the Eastern Division in the American League. That's something that, they've got to take care of business here. Toronto, they've beaten them 2 out of 3. The only other team they have left to play is Baltimore. They don't come in until September. They're done with the Yankees. They're done with Tampa. They're done with Boston.
How to play. One out here in the second inning is Brantley making Johnson work for it here. Payoff pitch. Right back up the middle. It nailed Johnson. He picks it up, throws to first, and he got him for out number 2.
Well, that's a pretty heads-up play by Johnson because he took a base hit away from Michael Brantley. That was a line drive. It looked like it got him right in the glove, and I guarantee it had to sting. It goes right back, and it caught him. It looked like on the finger, the baby finger side of the glove. It rolled away. He picked it up. He didn't panic. He made a good throw to get Brantley by half a step. Used to hate that, boy, when you hit a ball hard and the pitcher knocks it down and they get it. If it knocks down, at least go far enough away where he can't make a play on it. But he was able to do that.
Carlos Santana taking a strike. Got in on him, broke his bat. And the right fielder, Bautista, takes care of it. The Indians go 1-2-3, no score after 2. No score as we go to the third inning, top of the order for Toronto. Jose Reyes, Jose Bautista, and Edwin Encarnacion. Just missing with that pitch, 1-1. In the air, foul and out of play.
You know, Matt, I was talking about that first time through the lineup when he went through. You know, he started with 42 pitches. The first 3 hitters, they saw 11 pitches. 4, 5, and 6 hitter saw 10. But you got to the 7, 8, 9, they saw 20 pitches. So, you know, you would think that it would
be just the word.
Yeah, it would be
right?
a little bit opposite of what it is.
Upstairs, 2-2.
Oh.
Nailed himself on that foul ball.
He sure did. And down he goes. See if it was it looked like it was the right one. Right down off the ankle. Inside part of it, too.
Bloop towards left, shallow. Brantley on a hurry makes the catch. 1 away. Well, Ubaldo Jimenez has yielded a couple of hits. He's walked one, struck out one. With more on the Tribe right-hander, here's Katie.
Well, I spoke with pitching coach Mickey Callaway today, and he told me Toronto's hitters have been very aggressive on the inner half of the plate this year, which is a good matchup for Ubaldo, who likes to throw his off speeds away. The key, though, today, Matt, is for him the second time through the lineup. He's got to keep the ball down, and if he's going to miss, he has to miss in the dirt.
Well, I like that when you're ahead in the count. If you're going to miss it in the dirt. If you're behind, then you're going to have to throw a little better pitch. So, obviously, I think that key is pitching from in front. The 0-2-1-2 count.
Well, Batista has the count in his favorite now at 2-0.
A lot of times you get your good hitters, and they don't have to swing at a pitch down now if it's low. They can spit on it and take it, unless they like it. Just like that. It was down, but when you're 2-0, a hitter, boy, he shrinks his strike zone. He looks in a place where he can drive the ball, and this guy loves it in.
He swung at a pitch away, and on the 3-0 pitch, he grounds out weakly, 2 down.
Oh, you take that one. That's a little over-aggressive right there for the hitter. Well, come on down to the ballpark Friday night. You'll have a dollar dog night during the game. You'll have a post-game fireworks show after the game. Kansas City will be in town, and the fireworks will be set to disco music. So come on out, 7:05 start. Kansas City Royals in as they will take us into the break.
Not surprised that he has a green light 3-0. Obviously,
right.
He's one of the best power hitters in the game right now. But are you surprised that he was that aggressive? You know, he's looking middle in. He swung at a pitch that was not
I am.
in his zone.
You know, he did turn on it, but yes, that wasn't his home run pitch, so he probably should have just spit on it to live for another pitch and maybe get a better one. But, you know, sometimes hitters, they get themselves out because they want to do a little too much, and I think that's exactly what he wanted to do there. He wanted to try and leave the yard, and he helped him out.
Encarnacion taking it's in there for a strike. Encarnacion doubled to deep center his first time
Watch
up.
this ball, as you mentioned, Matt, it's away and it's down. That's not the pitch he can hit for a home run in the left field bleachers. And if you're swinging 3-0, that's the pitch you want to swing at. Is the pitch that you think you can hit out of the ballpark. And, hey, look, there's a fine line. He's such a good hitter. I mean, you just get yourself out a lot of times as a hitter.
In the air on a 3-1 pitch. Reynolds didn't know where he was at, and it's going to give him another pitch to live for. He thought he was already at the side where the railing was, but he had another couple of feet to go.
Yeah, you see, he wasn't able to take his eye off of it. He had one more step, and that's why we always say the key to catching a ball like that, if you have the time to get to your destination first, and that's right around that railing, get there and then adjust.
Well, Encarnacion draws a walk, and the inning continues. And another tough out, Adam Lynn, who flied to center his first time up. In there for a strike. Swung on and missed. About 10 days ago, Adam Lynn had a little issue with the chronic back problem that flares up every time to time. Once again, a lot of pitches every inning for Ubaldo. Here's the 1-2. Jimenez ready with a 1-2. Inside, he missed. Two balls, two strikes, two down, a runner at first. Boy, he had a wicked cut. Man, it's fouled right back. Now the 2-2. Another full count. That is already 6 3-2 counts. This is the 13th batter that he has faced tonight. And Encarnacion takes off. A swing and a miss. He strikes him out. Second strikeout for Jimenez, and it's still scoreless, middle of the third. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one tonight, to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Those kids, they see the camera, they're having a ball, aren't they? Get me on, get me on. Look at that. Get the little mohawk there.
Mark Reynolds, an 0-1 count, takes a look. It's outside. Reynolds stopped his slump yesterday with a couple of hits in the ball game. Takes down low, 2-1. Back out of play, 2-2 the count. There's a drive to deep center, but back goes Rasmus. He's got a room, and he makes the catch with plenty to spare, one away. There's our great clip of the game from last night early in the ball game. A 2-run single by Lonnie Chisenhall. Great clips. It's going to be great. Ball one, it's up high. Later in the game, it was a key spot when Chisenhall was trying to get Drew Stubbs from second to third and failed to do so. I know a lot of folks were wondering after the game, why didn't he bunt? Chisenhall talked about it after the game, and Terry Francona said, it was an option, but it wasn't the best option. They felt like he could pull a ball. Well, and on the ground or get the guy over to third that way by swinging the bat.
Your job as a hitter in that situation, ninth inning, whether your manager puts a bunt on or not, is to pull the ball. Or if you don't feel you can pull it off that pitcher, you lay down a bunt on your own.
2 down.
It's just a matter of doing your job, whatever the job is called for, and it changes every time you walk to the plate.
Drew Stubbs will be the batter. Both Stubbs and Michael Bourne were really hampered late in that ball game last night by the declining field conditions.
You don't realize that it was just a muddy track. You can't run. The dirt builds up in your cleats, and you can't get any traction. Bourne tried to steal a base. He was caught. He stopped halfway. You never see him do that. Just bad conditions.
Yeah, and Stubbs said afterwards he couldn't get his traction out there either.
They wanted him to try and steal third, but no matter how you tried, you just couldn't do it. Late in the ball game, it was just a mess.
Two quick strikes on Stubbs, low and away here. And he strikes him out. Fourth strikeout for Johnson. The Indians 9 up, 9 down through the first 3 innings. No score as we go now to the 4th inning. Colby Rasmus, Myceres Torres, and Rajay Davis due up for Toronto. Heavy rain blew through downtown Cleveland right at about 7 o'clock this evening, just about right at the top of the hour. We had a 36-minute delay, but since that rain moved through, it has really been beautiful.
Well, you know, we've been very fortunate last night. What was it, a 20-minute delay and 36 tonight? So that's.
Well, we were fortunate last night, but it was tough for those folks who had to sit out there and
tough
endure
for the
folks,
rain. Tough for the ground crew. They had to work their tails off.
Rasmus lines one left field. That's down, and it'll go all the way to the wall, and that will be the third double tonight for Toronto. Second pure double. One of those, of course, was the ball that Michael lost in the lights.
Well, he let that one track deep. He elevated it, and he just waited on it, and inside out of it to left field. Got it down into the corner, so Rasmus will get the fourth inning started, his 16th double.
Now Myceres Torres. He's the one that lined one toward left his first time up, and Brantley came in. He was right there to make the catch, but he just lost it. Now he pulls one through the right side of base hit. Rasmus coming around third. He'll be held there. Stubbs got to it quickly. And back-to-back hits to start the fourth inning now for Toronto. Is Torres, the former Indians farmhand, 2 for 2 now on the night.
Yeah, he's 10 for his last 20, so he's been a little hot. He got a pitch. He's looking to pull a ball, so you don't give a guy with a short swing a pitch inside to pull. Because he was trying to get him over. He did. He got the bonus of getting a base hit, so now it's first and third.
As Torres was traded along with Ryan Church by the Indians for Scott Stewart, an ill-fated deal with the Montreal Expos.
Left-handed pitcher, wasn't he?
How many times can you remember back in that era where the Indians were looking for that left-hander? It seemed like ever since Paul Ossenmacher, once his time was up, the Tribe kept looking for somebody to take that role again. And there's a bouncer back to Jimenez. He'll look the runner at third, back goes to second, gets the force there.
A nice job.
One down.
That was a good play by Ubaldo. He looked the guy back at third. He went and got the lead runner at second, and he still has the double play in order. Very nice. And he gave a good feed to Cabrera. There's nothing you could do. You're not going to turn it with Davis running. But very good play. Watch him look back to third, go to second, good feed, and get the lead runner, and you still have the double play in order.
J.P. Arancibia. Now throw to first. Drives Davis back to the bag. Pitch over the outside corner, a called strike. Right, Davis takes off, pitch up high, throw down by Santana. They won't get him. And a steal by Davis, his 23rd of the year.
Yeah, he's a good base stealer, always has been. First and third, so he's going to take off to stay out of that double play. And this combination has a tough time throwing runners out, so they go ahead and take the double play out of it.
Down low, 2-1. Now the 2-1 pitch. Out of play to even the count.
Okay, this is a guy, you make your pitch, you can get a strikeout. Arancibia, a guy that has struck out 93 times this year.
Out of play. JP Arancibia has driven in 38 runs, 15 homers, 13 doubles. Now the 2-2. Got him looking. Painted the outside corner. Third strikeout for Jimenez, and it couldn't have come at a better time.
Went down and away. Made a beautiful pitch at the knees, outside corner. He got the call. There you go. Arancibia doesn't like it. But right there, gets the call. Good pitch. Out number 2, a chance to get out of it.
Upstairs for ball 1.
Funny thing about it, it's this part of the lineup again. 5 through 9 that have made him work hard to get through this inning.
High, towering drive, deep right field on the track. Stubbs makes the catch. Bonifacio flies to deep right. And the Jays strand 2 more.
Opportunity to secure absolute lowest prices for the 2014 season tickets will be available this season ticket holder event, which will take place July 28th. Log on to triberewards.com for full details.
Second time through the order. We'll see if the Indians can find a way to solve Josh Johnson. He struck out 4 the first time through. And Bourne looks at a strike to even the count. Bourne not happy with that call. Swung at that one in the dirt. And maybe because the previous one had been called a strike. 5 Ks now for Johnson. 1 down here in the 4th. Let's take a look at the AT&T trivia question tonight. Which Hall of Famer said age is a case of mind over matter? If you don't mind, it don't matter. We'll have the answer coming up later in the game. as Dribble Cabrera struck out his first time up. He has really been scuffling. 0 for his last 20.
That's Johnson's first 2-0 count of the night. He's been pitching from in front. That's why he has 5 strikeouts.
3-0. And we've seen it so many times before. When you're in an 0 for 20, it's tough to lay off. You know, even when guys aren't throwing strikes, you'll see guys that are in a slump. They'll still swing because they want to swing the bat to swing their way out of the slump.
Yeah, you think you need your 3 swings. And you know that's just the way it goes. When you're swinging the bat well and you're in a good groove, it seems like you're seeing it well and you're not afraid to take a strike or 2. You still have the confidence you can hit. When you're not seeing it well and you're not getting base hits, you just feel like I got to swing 3 times to get a base hit.
Now he draws a walk here. From 3-0 to 3-2, and then ball 4 up and in. So the Indians have their first base runner with 1 out in the 4th inning. Right back up the middle, the Indians' first hit of the night. And Cabrera stops at second as the Indians try to rally now here in the 4th. A walk and a knock, 2 on, 1 out. Nick Swisher will be coming up as Kipnis left nothing a chance here. He got a pitch out over the plate and just short up the middle.
It was down. He put a good swing on it, but they made him get the fastball down. That was one he didn't elevate, and Kipnis put a nice swing on it, gets the first hit. So now the Indians with 2 on and 1 out. That's where you want him to get that fastball. You want him to get it down in the zone. You can catch up to it. It seems to be pretty straight, but it must have a little giddy up there when it's about the belt or higher.
Ball 1 out of Nick Swisher, called out on strikes his first time up, and he definitely was at odds with home plate umpire Brian Gorman in that at bat. Missed outside, 2-0. That was borderline at best, a pitch outside. He took a hack at it, fouls it away, 2-1. Swisher with a hit in 7 of his last 9 games. It's low, 3 balls and a strike. Johnson went through the lineup. I mean, it was proverbial hot knife through butter that first time through. But now here in the 4th, after he struck out Bourne, the walk to Cabrera, Kipnis lines one up the middle, and now Swisher in a 3-1 count with Brantley on deck.
Yeah, you get him out of the stretch and see what happens.
And that's hammered into right field. Cabrera coming around third. They're going to wave him home. Batista's throw to the plate, not in time. The Indians take a 1-0 lead. Nick Swisher delivers with the RBI single, and Cabrera, terrific base running, got a good jump, and he beat the throw home. Swisher with RBI number 31 on the year.
Get the count in your favor, and Nick got a fastball down and drills it in the hole between first and second. Batista with a good arm out there, so you have to get a good jump. He's coming all the way home, but Cabrera beats it. It's going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. Swisher, his 31st RBI, and the Indians are going to play from in front.
And frustration has to be mounting for Toronto. They've already left 6 men on base, 4 of those in scoring position. The Indians didn't have a hit until this inning, and now they've already cashed in to take the lead and looking for more as Michael Brantley steps in. And it's called strike. And a hanging breaking ball line to right field. Another base hit. Bautista plays it on a bounce. Kipnis scores. 2-0 Tribe. Swisher stopping at second base. And Michael Brantley has his 46th RBI of the year. Yeah. And now the Indians with 3 straight hits after the one-out walk to Cabrera started it.
Michael took that first breaking ball, but he threw him another one, and he didn't take that one. Watch how he stays back on that back leg. And he just let it come down into the zone, and he smokes it to right field. Nice swing. Gets it in front of Bautista. Second straight breaking ball he sees, so he drives in the second run. It'll be first and second. 3 consecutive hits. 4 consecutive have reached. Michael has done a nice job. Look at that, 387 this year with runners in scoring position. His 46th RBI.
Up comes Carlos Santana. Flied to right his first time up. And Santana rockets one foul. Boy, did he get out in front and hit that hard.
Well, he was looking for that fastball. He got it, and he was just too quick on it.
One ball, one strike. Two balls and a strike. Johnson checking the runners. The 2-1 pitch. Popped him up. In comes Bautista. Out goes Bonifacio, and Bautista will make the catch. 2 down. Santana heads back to the dugout. Mark Reynolds will get a chance now. The 0-1 pitch. Chops it up the middle. And the throw to first is dug out there by Lynn to end the inning. So the Indians get 3 straight hits here in the fourth. They take a 2-0 lead. wireless receiver only from AT&T Uverse. Rethink possible. And by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. All right, we go down to the fifth inning. 2-0 Indians. Top of the order for Toronto. Jose Reyes 0 for 2 will lead it off. He's grounded out, flied out. Ubaldo has made 80 pitches. That's in there for a strike. Almost 60% of his pitches for strikes so far tonight. The key here tonight so far, the Blue Jays can't buy a hit when they get a runner in the scoring position. They're 1 for 7, and that's why he has been able to strand 6 runners on base tonight. Up the middle, Kipnis can't get to that. So another hit for Toronto. 5th of the night for the Jays, and they got their leadoff man aboard for the 2nd inning in a row. Here's the AT&T Uverse rewind.
He's had to work hard to get through him, but he's been able to do it. They had an opportunity last inning after the leadoff double and a base hit. 1st and 3rd, nobody out, and got out of it.
Tribe with a 2-0 lead. Blue Jays batting here in the 5th. Runner goes. Throw down. Not in time. Another steal for the Jays. Their 2nd of the night. Reyes with his 7th on the year.
Yeah, off Ubaldo there. Now they've been able to catch 2 out of 11. And for Santana, he's thrown out 5 out of 41. So they've got 2 more tonight. He goes in head first. By the time Kipnis applies a tag, he's safe. So man on second now and nobody out.
Jose Bautista looks at a strike. He flied to right in the 1st inning, grounded to short his last time up.
That last ground out was on a 3-0 pitch.
Well, he's in another good hitter's count here. 3-1. And that one's hit high in the air to left field. Brantley back.
Just got it in there.
And makes the catch. 1 away. Right now on FoxSportsOhio.com, vote for your favorite second baseman in Indians history. Take a closer look at the Browns' wide receivers for the upcoming year. And we explore what Vinny Pistano needs to do to get back on track. Complete coverage of all today's action involving Ohio sports on FoxSportsOhio.com. Fouled right back. Edwin Encarnacion did not get cheated on that cut.
I'll tell you what, that's about as big a swing as you can take right here. And he fouled it back. Just a little too long for Encarnacion, but he can tell you what, he is dangerous.
This will be pitch number 90 for Ubaldo. Upstairs with it.
He's strictly DH, and now when we first saw him, he was playing first base. Opening series of the year.
I don't know if Adam Lynn still had some issues with the back maybe early in the season, or if that's just something that they've got to monitor from series to series.
Right.
Weekly chopped to short. And Cabrera unloads to get him. 2 away. Reyes able to go to third on the play. And that will bring up Adam Lind. Hit on the ground, Weekly to Kipnis. He'll throw out Adam Lind. And Ubaldo does it again. The Blue Jays strand yet another runner in scoring position. And the Tribe maintains a 2-0 lead. Bottom of the 5th inning. Lonnie Chisenhall, Drew Stubbs, and Michael Bourne. Popped up on the infield his first time up. Drilled foul down the right side out of play. And that young girl got a perfect carom. Played it well. Oh, how about that? And she gave it up to boot.
Well, that's nice.
Normally, it's the guy who gives the ball to the girl. I mean,
exactly.
You talk about turning the tables on things.
When you come to the park, you don't think you're going to get one when you're sitting out that far.
2-2. 70 pitches now for Josh Johnson. Grew up in Oklahoma. And a soft liner caught by Bonifacio, one away. Our in-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Nick Swisher with an RBI single. Just the second hit of the night for the Tribe. Made it 1-0. Michael Brantley followed that with an RBI single of his own. That's all the scoring so far here tonight. Because Ubaldo Jimenez has been able to frustrate Toronto. They have stranded 7 runners tonight, 5 of them in scoring position. Drew Stubbs, 0 for 1, struck out his first time up. He's having a tough time picking up the ball. He's
Yeah.
either in between or
You're
late.
right.
And he's just.
When you see it like that,
Yeah.
you're exactly right. Just maybe not picking it up.
Hits that one on the ground. Bonifacio will throw him out. 2 down. If you were born and raised in Ohio and want to be the next Fox Sports Ohio girl, go to girls.foxsportsohio.com to submit an application. The casting call for the next Fox Sports Ohio girl ends July 24th. 2 down now for Michael Bourne, who is 0 for 2 tonight. Checks on the ball down low.
I'm going to send along a happy birthday wish to Bill Lutz tonight from Paynesville, Ohio, who is turning 90. Bill, happy birthday.
Bourne chops it to second base. And the Indians go quickly here in the 5th. But they still lead it 2-0. The 6th inning. The final vote for the American League All-Star team. There's one position still up for grabs, and right-hander Steve Delabar of Toronto currently leading the race on the fan voting here. He's given up 4 earned runs in his last 31 1/3 innings out of the bullpen, and he hasn't given up more than 2 runs in any of his 35 appearances. So,
Wow.
that's pretty good.
Well, their bullpen has been lights out.
I mean, a 1.58 ERA in 35 games. Kobe Rasmus doubled his last time up. Takes a strike.
Well, it was this time of the game in Ubaldo's last start in Kansas City that he ran into his issues. Indians had a 5-0 lead.
Well, Rick, it happened so fast, too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you look at Ubaldo this year in the 6th inning, his ERA is over 10. And the opposition is hitting 379 for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. It's just been a tough inning for him this year. He's only gone more than 5 innings, 6 times.
Popped him up. Cabrera called off by Brantley. 1 away. All right, the final vote now for the National League, and all the talk, Yasiel Puig of the Dodgers, young player with very little experience, but he had tons of notoriety because of how he's burst onto the scene. But Freddie Freeman currently leads the voting with a couple of days to go. We'll see Freddie and the Braves later this summer.
We will.
Down in Atlanta.
That we will.
Swung on and missed by Torres. 2 for 2, a double and a single. Mentioned the ill-fated trade that sent him to Montreal along with Ryan Church, but he didn't last long there. They turned around and dealt him to Anaheim for Jose Guillen along with Juan Rivera.
Wow.
Two pitch. Boy, he tried to hold up, but he got him fooled that time. Had him in between. 4th strikeout of the night for Jimenez. 2 down in the inning. Let's go back right now to the Hyundai Studios for an in-game update with Al Pawlowski.
Hey, Matt, Rick, pitchers duel going on tonight in New York. The Royals, the Yankees, Sabathia against Shields. The difference thus far, Billy Butler. His 8th home run of the season came here in the 7th inning, put the Royals ahead 2-1. KC has just cashed in another run. They lead it 3-1, 8th inning in New York. Matt?
All right, thanks, Al. Rajai Davis. One delivery. A little bit outside. Davis 0 for 2 on the night. High pop. Will it stay fair play? It goes into foul territory and caught by Chisenhall. The inning is over. As for the first time tonight, Ubaldo retires the side in order. Good night for the Tribe to this point of the game. They lead it 2-0, bottom of the 6th. For the Indians, as Drupal Cabrera, Jason Kipnis, and Nick Swisher. Cabrera walked and scored his last time up. Inside, he missed. Foul, first base side. In the air, left field. Back goes Davis. And he pulls it down, one away. The Midsummer Classic returns to New York with home field advantage on the line. It's the 2013 Major League Baseball All-Star Game live from New York, July 16th, only on Fox. The winning league will have home field advantage in the Fall Classic. And, of course, the Indians will be represented by Justin Masterson and the guy at the plate, Jason Kipnis. Taking a strike, Jason singled and scored in the fourth.
That was the first hit of the ball game for the Indians after the the one-out walk to Cabrera. That's when the Indians have been able to come around and score their 2 runs.
Jason had his 16-game hitting streak snapped recently, but he's now hit in 28 of his last 30 games. And he's piled up a ton of hits. We're not talking a hit here and a hit there. How about a .394 average since June 5th? That's over a solid month now. Johnson's 85th pitch of the night. And Jason bangs it towards first base. Lynn flips it, and the big guy covers the bag, 2 down.
Well, Indians Tribe Park and Ride will bus you to and from Progressive Field from 5 area suburbs one more night, and it'll be this Saturday. You can purchase your fare for only $5 per person. Go to Indians.com/plan your trip.
Nick Swisher, an RBI single his last time up. You know, it's hard to believe when you look at Josh Johnson, but at 6'7", the reason he became successful in baseball is because of his lack of success in his own backyard in basketball. He had 4 brothers, and they used to play a game called death ball. There were no fouls called. And I think he was the runt of the litter, and they used to beat him up pretty good.
No kidding. Some big boys in that household, huh? In the Johnson family.
So he took to the baseball fields to stake his claim. Now the 2-1 pitch. Strike over the outside corner. The 2-2. Swisher just reached for it and fouls it out of play. Low and just missing, full count. Outside, he walked him. Ball 4. That's the first walk since the Indians got their first base runner of the game when he walked his Dribble Cabrera with 1 out in the 4th inning, and that led to their first of 2 runs.
Sometimes 2-out walks can hurt just as bad, too.
Johnson's another one of those guys, too, Rick, that I don't know if that it was a late bloomer, but he never really thought about pitching. He was an outfielder on his high school team, and they were in a state tournament. And he got called in to pitch from the outfield, and he threw 3 or 4 shutout innings. Yeah. He was hitting 92 on the gun that day. And
he's a big dude.
Next thing you know, the scouts started calling, and the rest is history. Brantley grounds out sharply to end the inning. 6 complete. Cleveland 2, Toronto nothing. with 18 locations in Northeast Ohio. And by Levin. Well, a nice evening here in downtown Cleveland after a 36-minute rain delay right at the top of the hour at 7 o'clock. It blew through hard and fast, and then it's been gorgeous ever since. That's our Panini Cam, brought to you by Panini's Bar and Grill. 2-0 Tribe on top as we go to the 7th inning. Ubaldo Jimenez pitched 6 shutout innings, giving up just 5 hits. And today's Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen will be for Cody Allen, who makes his 38th appearance of the year. He'll be facing J.P. Arancibia, Emilio Bonifacio, and Jose Reyes.
For your Baldo is 5 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. That is the 6th time this year he has pitched 6 innings. So, did not allow a run. They had an opportunity a couple times, had him in trouble, able to pitch around it. So he'll turn it over to the bullpen.
Arancibia waiting for Cody Allen, who steps onto the pitching rubber now. Looks into Carlos Santana and lets it fly. And it's fouled out of play. I don't know if you saw it, Rick, but kind of an eye-opening story out of Toronto. Arancibia last week took to the local radio in Toronto to blast a couple of the team's on-air analysts, Greg Zahn and Dick Hayhurst, for their criticism of his play this year. I mentioned before, he's only hitting .219. He's got 15 home runs, but a pile of strikeouts. And he just basically got tired of hearing the criticism. And he's a young man who's had a lot of high expectations and has yet to really live up to them. But the commentary he laid down was eye-opening. Stubbs cuts it off. It's a leadoff single. He basically went after Zahn, accusing him of being linked to baseball's PED scandal and saying nobody has any respect for him inside the Toronto clubhouse. I mean, it was pretty ugly. Yeah, it was.
It was a breaking ball Arancibia kept inside the bag.
You can understand a guy getting frustrated, but when you come out swinging like that, it never really. Nobody wins in that situation, put it that way. He doesn't look good at the end of the day. Bonifacio bunted foul, back over the screen.
Well, that was not a bunted a double. That thing had some speed to it coming straight back, didn't it? Over the screen. I always said if he has issues, why don't he go to the guys if they're there and they're their broadcasters? Go talk to them about it.
Yeah, instead of going on the radio.
Yeah, I mean, that's when it gets ugly. You start making it public. And
the 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed. The irony in all of that is that, he kind of went after Zahn saying, well, nobody respects him. He used steroids or whatever. And he's got Melky Cabrera as a teammate who has already been suspended for roughly the same thing. Fouled right back.
Yeah, but Melky wasn't attacking him. So
yeah, it just. Well, and again, it goes back to high expectations, and everybody had them picked to be right there in the mix, if not going to the playoffs this year, and it hasn't panned out. And there's been a lot of heat. 0-2 count on Bonifacio as Cody Allen delivers. And he just did get a piece of that to stay alive.
Yeah, a little piece to just knock it out of the glove. You see it went off the glove. Santana looked in there thinking like he had it. No, it didn't stick.
The 0-2 pitch upstairs. Leadoff man aboard for Toronto here in the 7th. A 2-0 Indians lead. Cody Allen with a 1-2 pitch now to Bonifacio. And that's outside to even the count. Aaron Sebia has been on twice tonight. He walked in the 2nd. He singled to start this 7th inning. Bonifacio, the number 9 hitter, 0 for 2. Swung on and missed. He threw it by him. 97 miles an hour. One down here in the 7th. Let's check the answer to the AT&T trivia question. Age is a case of mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter. Boy, it sure sounds like Satchel Paige, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is that the It is Satchel Paige.
Uh-huh. His debut July 9th, 1948. And he was up there, wasn't he? He didn't matter.
Line drive caught by Kipnis. Throw to first. Double play. Heads up play by Kipnis. Base running blunder by Aaron Sebia. The Blue Jays are out here in the 7th. And the Indians lead it 2-0. It's time now for the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by Spitzer Auto World. Life is hard. Buying a car shouldn't be. Indians with a 2-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. A reminder, late innings are brought to you by Captain Morgan Rum. Raise a glass, always in moderation. Josh Johnson, still under 100 pitches on the night. He has retired the side in order 4 out of the 6 innings. But in that 5th inning, after he struck out Michael Bourne to start the frame, he walked Asdrubal Cabrera on a full count. Then 3 straight singles, accounting for the only runs in this game.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in total control every other inning. Even last inning, he had the 2 outs. He walked Swisher and then got the next out in a hurry.
Up the middle it goes. Backhanded by Bonifacio. His off-balance throw is in time and a good stretch by Adam Lynn to retire Santana for out number 1.
Backhanded play, gets rid of it in a hurry. All in one motion. A good throw. The stretch by Lynn.
Ooh, I tell you what, he was very close. He might have come off the bag there. I didn't realize it, but on the replay you could see that foot might have come. Nope, he was keeping it on the bag the whole way. The bottom of his spikes are dark, and I didn't notice that until that shot of the replay. So it looked like there was a gap. It's just the fact that the bottom of his spikes are dark there. Looked like there was maybe a space.
On the corner.
Yeah. He's talking to first base coach Mike Sarbaugh. That was a good stretch. Mark Reynolds looks at a ball in the dirt. The 2-1 pitch, and Reynolds takes. %59% of his pitches for strikes, as you see there for Johnson. And a little foul that will stay in foul ground. Joe Smith getting loose for the Tribe in their bullpen. There is action also in the Toronto bullpen. Mentioned before, Johnson has primarily become a 5-inning pitcher this year for the Jays. But tonight he has been very good. Swing and a miss. That's his 6th strikeout. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. 3 straight hits in the 4th, 2 of them accounting for RBI knocks, Swisher and then Brantley. And that's all the offense we've had in the ballgame. Bounce to second base, and Bonifacio throws him out. Indians go 1-2-3 again, but they still hold a 2-0 lead. Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Two to nothing is our score as we go to the 8th inning. Today's Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen is for Joe Smith. In his 38th appearance of the year, shows us a 4-0 record, 2.67 ERA. He's got the meat of the order: Jose Bautista, Edwin Encarnacion, and Adam Lynn.
Well, and just moved into that 8th inning role just 2 days ago is Joe Smith. Bautista coming up. You like to face this guy with nobody on. He's had 3 times in his 3 at-bats today. He's had good hitters counts, Matt, but Ubaldo was able to get him every time.
Well, Rick, the reason, too, if fans are wondering, the reason for the switch, if you will, of moving Joe Smith into the 8th inning and letting Vinny Pistano just kind of back off for a while is a matter of trying to get his confidence back. Terry Francona says, look, we'll try to set him up where he can have some success and start getting some confidence, because I really do think when he's in the 8th inning pitching well, that's our best team.
Right.
But at the moment, we have to try something different.
Yeah, this is a game of adjustments, and everybody has to take a step back every once in a while to get it back together. I don't care if you're a pitcher or a hitter. Everybody goes through slumps.
Chopped right out in front of the plate. Santana jumps on it, and Bautista was almost to the pitcher's mound. And I think he realized, I'm way out of the baseline here. And he veered back, and Santana,
it was way out of bounds. I mean, you've never seen a runner run that far on the inside of the infield on a ground ball. Look at, he was looking behind and said, I better, make a quick right.
Well, the Indians have handled Bautista tonight. Edwin Encarnacion, though, still a dangerous threat. He has doubled, walked, and grounded out. As for Pistano, I mean, I think he's been pretty good through it all, and he says, look, I've got to get back to attacking people. And he said, I have to stop pitching scared and trying to miss bats and just, attack. Pitch to contact and just get back to being aggressive.
Well, he's been the best setup man they've had for the last couple of years, and, he's having a little setback now, but he'll get back to it, man. He'll get back to where he once was. And I agree with Terry. When he does, and they can put him back in that 8th inning role, that makes that whole bullpen better, because this guy goes into the 7th inning, and then you can move Allen down to the 6th inning, and things improve when the situation is set up right out there. That's a unit too, and they haven't been on the same page all year long, in my opinion.
Boy, some close pitches in there, and Joe Smith doesn't get the call. Edwin Encarnacion gets the walk. 1 on, 1 out. We go back to the studios for a quick update with Al.
Hey, Matt, another pitcher's duel tonight in Detroit. Verlander and Quintana. It's a 1-1 game. The last run scored here in the top of the 6th. Dion Viciedo hits his 6th homer of the year, a solo shot to tie it up. Middle of the 7th inning, tied White Sox and Tigers at 1. Matt?
All right, thanks, Al. 1 on, 1 out. Adam Lynn 0 for 3 on the night. And he takes a strike. Yeah, it never ceases to amaze me in this game how confidence plays such a huge role in a player's success, whether they are a hitter, fielder, or pitcher. Swing and a miss by Lynn. Well, and I think for Vinny, he was saying, it's almost as if I've been trying to will things to happen instead of just make my pitch and the outcome will be what it is. If I make my pitch and I throw where I need it to throw it, then it's out of my control. Instead of I'm up there trying to make the guy make it out instead of just, just make my pitch, let it go from there.
No matter how long you played this game, you better be on top of your game, because it'll humble you. The players will humble you. You've got to work hard every year. Oh, boy.
Well, Smith, he never saw him because of the way I think he comes to the set position. because when Ken Carnacio was about 6 steps towards
they were
second
playing
base.
behind him, too, so they're thinking, okay, he's not going to run it. He took off and thought he had him timed and had to put on the brakes.
Hit on the ground to short. Cabrera to Kipnis on to first. Double play. Joe Smith gets a 2-for-1. And we go to the bottom of the 8th with the Tribe pitching a shutout against the Blue Jays.
Well, if you're a Jimmy Buffett fan, you may want to come out to Saturday's ball game because the fireworks will be set to the Buffett theme. They'll be against the Kansas City Royals, and the first 10,000 fans through the gates will receive a 1902 replica road jersey.
Steve Delabar, he's the young man who's potentially in a chance to make the All-Star team if the fans vote him in. He's that last chance guy. What a year he's having. A 5-1 record out of the bullpen with a 158 earned run average. 57 strikeouts in 40 innings of work. And Drew Stubbs greets him with a drive to right center field. One hops the wall. Stubbs on his way to second base, and he's in standing with a leadoff double.
That is only the 4th hit of the ball game for the Indians. They had 3 in the 4th inning when they scored both their runs. So you get a leadoff double here. He jumped right on that fastball. He wasn't spotting Delabar anything. Took advantage of it. For Stubbs, he gets his 16th double. And now to get him over, get him in to add on.
'75th career double for Drew Stubbs. And as you said, get him over, get him in.
Really pinching in with Michael up here at the corners.
He bunts, third base, well executed. The runner to third. And that's out number 1. All right, here's our in-game box score brought to you by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers. And for the Indians tonight, it was the 3 consecutive singles in the 4th inning. After Asdrubal Cabrera got aboard with a 1-out walk, it was Kipnis, and then RBI hits by Swisher and Brantley, accounting for the only runs in this game. Now, a chance to add to it. Cabrera will be the batter. The infield is drawn in, cut of the grass, all the way around the horn. There's a high drive to deep center, deep enough to get that run home. Colby Rasmus makes the catch, tagging his Stubbs. He jogs home. And where last night they couldn't get it done, tonight they do, and they lead it 3-0. It's simply execution.
Yeah, I mean, it looks simple when you get it done, and it looks difficult when you don't. But started out with a double, a sacrifice fly, 2 sacrifices. 1 bunt, 1 fly, you have an extra run.
Only the 8th earned run that Steve Delabar has allowed in his 40 innings of work. 40 2/3 now. Ball got loose from, I believe, from the Tribe bullpen.
Wow, who threw that pitch?
I don't know how it got all the way to where it did, almost a shallow center field.
Is Perez warming up? It did.
It is Chris Perez. Just a bit outside. Stay tuned for Indians Live, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. It comes your way immediately following the game here on Sports Time Ohio. Kipnis pops one in the air. Davis, the left fielder, makes the catch. The side is retired. But the Indians strike early, and they get one across against Delabar, lead it 3-0. Ninth inning. And a reminder to stay tuned for Indians Live coming up next, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Chris Perez will pitch the 9th inning now for the Indians. Trying to nail it down and get the Indians back on the winning track. Looking for his 10th save of the season. He's got Colby Rasmus, Maicer Isturiz, and Rajay Davis due up for the Jays.
Well, Toronto, they have out-hit the Indians 6-4. They've left 7 stranded. But in that run column, they haven't pushed one across.
Colby Rasmus taking a strike. He doubled back in the 4th. 1 for 3 on the night. Low and away. And a strike is called. Now the 1-2. Bounce towards first, but it will go foul. Perez fires. And it's foul. He sent his own players scattering at the end of the dugout. Ubaldo Jimenez with a terrific outing here tonight. He went 6 innings, 5 hits, shutout baseball, walked 2, struck out 4. And the bullpen has been outstanding. Cody Allen, a shutout inning of work, and Joe Smith followed that up with one of his own. Jason Kipnis throws out Rasmus, 1 down in the 9th. Revisiting our keys to the game tonight. Well, the Indians have played from in front, and Jimenez did get deeper into the ball game. So obviously those were both important. They both held true. Tell you what might have been the biggest key tonight was the fact that the Blue Jays were not able to get a clutch hit. They had base runners.
Right.
They left 7 in the first 5 innings, and 5 of those were in scoring position.
Yeah, they were 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position tonight. The one hit they had was the leadoff double, and they moved the runner to third and left first and third with nobody out, and they couldn't score in the 4th inning. Then the Indians came back and put their 2 on the board.
One ball, 2 strikes the count here. On is Torres. Ooh. Just missing. And it's 2-2. Not an easy pitch to take when you're down on the count in the 9th inning. Now the 2-2. Hit right back up the middle, and a perfectly placed bouncing ball for Torres. And now the Blue Jays have a man on here in the 9th, just by the bare hand.
Yeah, he tried to knock
Perez.
it down or do something with it, but it gets over his reach and into center field. Hit number 7 for the Jays. So now they bring the tying run to, no, they don't. I take that back with the add-on.
Slider outside corner, a called strike. Rajai Davis is a guy who has truly taken advantage of the opportunities afforded him this year. I mean, here's a guy who, when the season began, was truly the odd man out with Melky Cabrera in the mix. But Cabrera's had hamstring injuries, quad injuries, and he's been out, and Davis has just done a terrific job. .290 batting average coming in. Laces this one right back up the middle. And now the Blue Jays are going to bring the tying run to the plate with 1 out here in the 9th inning after the base hit by Davis.
He goes right back up the middle. Looked like it might have been a breaking ball. So both hits coming right back through the box.
And J.P. Arancibia will be the batter for Toronto. And a strike called. Fouled back out of play. 2 on, 1 out of the ninth. High drama at Progressive Field as the Indians try to get back in the win column. The 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. He went down. Aaron Sebia chased one. 6th strikeout of the night for Indians pitching.
He did. Elevated the heater. He couldn't hold up. Couldn't check it. Gets the strikeout. Out number 2.
And now Emilio Bonifacio will be pinch hit for.
Tolley. Josh Tolley coming on. Let's check him out. 1 for 3 as a pinch hitter this year.
He's been up for a month. Called up from AAA Buffalo. The 0-1. Line to short, caught by Cabrera. And the Indians win the series opener by a final score of 3-0. And the Tribe now leads the American League with their 11th shutout of the season. Chris Perez finishing it off with his 10th save. Ubaldo Jimenez gets the win. He's 7-4. Tribe is now 47-43, while Toronto drops to 43-46. Boy, this was just what the doctor ordered for this ball club. A well-pitched game from their starter. The bullpen pitching in with 3 shutout innings of relief. And the offense doing just enough. And when you consider that Josh Johnson was perfect through the first 3 and retired the first 10 in a row to start the game, and then bang, a walk and 3 straight hits. They get the lead in the 4th and played from in front the whole night.
Yeah, they certainly did. It was, it's exactly what the Indians needed.
Time now for our key play of the game. It's brought to you by KeyBank.
You go back to that 4th inning, and after the walk and a Kipnis single, the very first hit, up comes Swisher. He made him get that fastball down a little bit, and he drilled it in the hole between first or second. That drove in the first one, and that's the only one the Indians needed, actually, tonight. So that is going to be our key play of the game. That's proud to be the banking home of the Cleveland Indians.
Tom Bochenek lets us know, too, of the 11 shutouts that the Indians have pitched that leads the American League. Ubaldo Jimenez has been the starter in 3 of them now.
Okay.
So the Tribe a 3-0 winner. We've got some final thoughts coming up right after this.